2013 Subaru Outback with electronic parking brake issue. Pretty much electronic parking brake does not engage. And that was not a recall but a service extended warranty for electronic parking brake control module. Went to dealership, got it replaced for free, but parking brake still not working. Dealership told me that could be relay, could be parking switch, and I had to pay to get it diagnosed. Instead of paying for diagnosis, I decided to try to figure out the issue myself. And initially I wanted to check under the vehicle, the voltage, check connectors, but on eBay I found a good deal for just $22 as a switch. And I'm gonna use those two parts and replace those first to see if that's the issue. I think now I can pull this side down. Let me see if I can pull other side down as well. Yep. Now I'm gonna unplug all these connectors. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna earlier remove this Phillips head screw. By the way, to take it out I had to remove this one, and this one. Now I'm interested in removing mainly the electric parking brake and that hill button. So this one's already removed. I'm gonna remove the connectors for this one's for the parking brake switch and this one's for the hill whatever. Now I'm gonna have to try to remove this screw that holds the switch in. Both of them are out. So here it is. Just visually it looks okay. I don't know if it actually is okay or not. So now I'm gonna remove those switches from this replacement. Now I'm gonna install a replacement here. Now I'm gonna plug in those connectors, 1 and 2, and just secure it back. All done. Again, it was dark, I really needed to replace it today, but very self-explanatory. 1, 2, 3, and there's one more bolt over there. Let's hold all this in place and remove the parking brake switch and that hill descent, whatever it's called. It's this one right here and one on the other side right under this connector. Now I'm gonna start the vehicle and see if it worked, but I'm gonna put this back in. Two Phillips screws are back in. And just put this back in place. To continue finding the issue with the system, I'm gonna release the parking brake. Now Subaru provides several tools to release the parking brake. One of them is right there. Normally there should be like a screwdriver with a handle. I'm unable to find one. So instead of handle, I'm gonna use vice grips. On the bright side, it'll help me keep track of rotations. Just hope it's gonna work. First, I'm gonna remove that plastic cover, and it's counterclockwise. I'm gonna see if now I can remove it by hand. Yep. Now I'm gonna try to insert this, and I'm gonna turn it clockwise. It has a little paper or cover there. I'm gonna try to remove it with big tool. Kind of weird why that cover was there, but now it's clear. I can actually see area specifically for that shaft. Now I'm gonna put that shaft in. And I'll turn it. It's supposed to be 200 to 250 turns. Maybe from this angle would be better. Portion of having this vice grip, it will help me count exact number of rotations, and it has to be clockwise. 1, 2, 3. 140. 190. Okay, 200. I'm gonna show you this opening again. And like I said, I had little cover on it, paper cover. And with a pick tool, I moved it out of the way. So now I'm gonna start the vehicle, check, make sure parking brake is released. Just to show you this cover, that's from outside, this part inside, and there is a thread right there. Just confirmed, it is released. Now I'm gonna start by manually tighten this plastic cover. Now I'm gonna use this tool, but make sure you don't over tighten it. I'm just gonna use this tool, and as soon as I'll feel a bit of pressure, I'm not gonna tighten it further. Felt a little pressure, so I'm gonna stop right here. So now that parking brake is released, I'm gonna try to figure out what's going on. I did this off camera, but I removed 2 fuses. I removed this one. That's supposed to be for parking brake. And I removed that one too. So 2 of those fuses are for parking brake. And even with fuses removed, the parking brake light or brake light still blinking. So even if you decide you don't want to fix it, you'll still have the light on dashboard whether you remove the fuses or not. So next step is I'm gonna follow the service manual, and I'm gonna check wiring or check voltage where the electrical parking brake control module is. It looks like to get to it I'm gonna have to remove this cover and this one, and all those nuts and bolts should be 12 millimeter. So it looks like we're not gonna remove this cover, at least not yet. I'm gonna try to remove this connector, inspect it, check wiring, but it does look like control module was replaced. It does look new. So to open it, you have to push on this plastic right here tab and pull the lever. And it's out. Should be noted that it's pretty rusty here, so I wonder if connectors inside are bad. They do look pretty clean. Out of curiosity, I'm gonna start the vehicle just to see if brake light's still gonna be there, which I'm sure it would be. I'm gonna put fuses back since I need them there anyway to do the testing. I recently brought this tester, and I'll be doing most of my electrical testing using this tool. I'm gonna start checking those two, make sure there is proper voltage. So this one's ground. This one should be positive, and it does get good voltage. Now one of those, I think this one, the 18, I'm gonna start ignition and make sure that it does get 12 volts. That one also gets 12 volts. So with the code I was getting, I check connections, everything checks out. So I'm gonna have to dig deeper than that. I also checked resistance of the switch and everything checked out as well. What's strange is I was able to activate parking brake but could not release it. So it seemed like if it's not the switch, I'm gonna assume that there is an issue with wiring between the switch and parking brake control module. But I'm gonna test it. Just ordered this kit with a bunch of adapters, harnesses, and I'm gonna use that to check on the switch. Even though I already checked with this way, it's a lot tougher. Using this kit, it should be a lot easier and faster to check. So using this kit, just plugs in like this. So press and neutral 2 and 9 pins get less than 1 resistance. And it's a lot easier to push on this. And this is all securely connected. So this pushing it should give resistance 1 or under. So now I confirmed for sure that 2 of my parking brake switches working fine. I also confirmed that electronic brake control module receives good ground, good constant positive and good switched positive. Through my research, I know that there are 4 wires going from parking switch to the parking control module, and I believe those 4 wires are used to engage and disengage the parking brake. I also know that I was able to engage parking brake but could not disengage it with that parking switch. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna check resistance from here to harness that goes into parking brake control module. I'll start with this pin 2, this part, 13. So from pin 2 parking switch to pin 13 on parking brake control module, resistance checked out, just to show you right here. Next one is 14 on this one and 1 on the other side. Next one is 20 on this one and 9 in front. All checked out so far. Next one is 19 on this one and 3 on the other one. So all those 4 connections have 0 resistance, which means it's good. I check voltage on pin 1, 2, 3 and 9. All of them are at 0. I also checked resistance with ground and everything's good. So I'm very puzzled. I'm gonna use contact cleaner, clean 2 of those connectors and put switches back on. Light still blinking, and I think I'm gonna try to access parking brake module and see what I could do with it. So looks like under special functions I have some functions here, so I'll give it a try. It says put vehicle in horizontal position, put wheel stoppers for safety. Let's see if it's gonna work. Says it's aborted. I'll try this one. Well, I'm more and more inclined to believe that issue is with actual parking brake module. I'm just not sure if installation was done wrong or if new one is just broken. So what I'm gonna do is remove this cover as well and just try to find any issues in the cable or somewhere else. This one's way too tight. It shouldn't have been that tight. So dealership definitely over tightened this one. It should be not on another side. This one actually broke when I removed it with impact wrench. I'm gonna have to get pipe extension for this one. Doesn't sound good. And there's one more bolt right there, but I'll need extension for that one. This one's also very tight. What's really strange is before I was able to set the parking brake, but was not able to release it. Now I can't even set the parking brake. So another location I'm gonna check. I wanna find the wiring that goes from parking module to here, and it has another connection, I think somewhere in this area. There is a chance it might be water damaged, corrosion or something. So I'm gonna take this out and see if I can find it. It was not in center console. I think I found it. Lift this seat up, move this aside. Here it's going towards the parking brake control module. And here's a connector. I'm gonna disconnect it now. And everything looks good. So even though I didn't find any issues with the original harness, I decided to buy one on eBay. It was only $30, and I believe it offers free returns. So if that's not gonna work, I'll try to return it. I might have to pay $5 for shipping. I'd say it's worth a try. Probably not gonna work, but let's see. I already unplugged parking control module. Here's a new one. Here it is connected. In case you have to replace the harness, keep in mind that you take it out through the bottom. Connector that connects to the parking control module, it's too big to go through a hole here. Now that it's connected, I'm gonna park the vehicle on a flat surface. I'm gonna try to calibrate parking brake. Let's try and see. So same code as always. Force calibration mode. So same thing. Oh, this is last thing I'll try in a while. I found the connector up front. It didn't look bad, no corrosion, nothing like that. I used pulse, signal pulse, whatever the device called, track the wiring, making sure that all wires go where they're supposed to. So I even signed up for Identifix to see if I could find someone with the same issues and find some solution. There was zero, there was one somewhat similar, but there were different codes. And one person suggested that instead of putting 10 notches here, to do 3 or 4. So I'm gonna try that. If that doesn't work, I don't even know what else I could try. So going up is extending the screw. So I'm gonna go all the way till I couldn't move the disc. I definitely can't move it, and now I'll just do first 3 notches. 1, 2, 3. I'll do another one. Still goes pretty tight. I'm gonna do another 2. That's good. Gonna do same thing here. Confirmed I can't move it. Now about 3 to 4 down. Well, let's try again. So it aborted, but was definitely longer. Definitely weird. Okay, I'm gonna continue trying to figure out the parking brake issue. So initially I did 10 notches, then obviously didn't work. Somewhere online it says to try 3 notches. That didn't work, but it seemed like initiation, it takes longer and then abort. So what I'm gonna try to do is going up is tighten it more where you can't move the disc. So I'm gonna try to do a bit more, making it even tighter. 1, 2. I can still move it, but I know for sure that I did 2 notches tighter. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Other side seemed to be a little bit tighter. This one seemed a bit looser. Gonna adjust this one more notch. Okay, it's good right here. Now I'm gonna do the same thing again, initiate the parking brake calibration. Switch off, turn on and perform force sensor calibration. Abort it and faster than last time. So what I noticed is after doing force sensor calibration a couple times, and then I got a stroke access thing, had to adjust that adjusting screw a lot. So I'll try it. So I'll try now. Okay, let's try again. Okay, takes a while. Wow, completed. Okay, says turn ignition off. Now I'm gonna start the car and see, hopefully brake light is off. And it is off, that's awesome. Now I'm gonna check, see parking brake works. Push on. It says parking brake engaged. It is engaged. Let's see if it'll come off. I think I have to hold it. Okay, not sure if it's normal, but it couldn't release like that. But when I put vehicle in drive and pulled parking, then it released. To be honest, I'm really in shock that all that worked. I'm even more confused what was the issue. All I can think of is this system that I don't really like is you don't know when this electronic parking brake, you don't know when it's fully releases it. So your adjustment screw could be messed up. So what you could try to do is like I did, do force calibration. You see that it's not moving, it's locked, like if it says aborted. Do it a couple more times. On mine, I got that stroke access code and then it allowed me to adjust screw further, and that worked. Okay, I'll put everything back together. I'm gonna do a drive test. Okay, I'm gonna start the vehicle. Just check in this area, see if parking brake working. Annoying brake light gone, which is awesome. Car drives good. Don't feel any tension anywhere. Gonna check parking brake. Should I push? Parking is on. Vehicle on drive, not driving. Definitely engaged. Vehicle in park. So I guess if it's parked, I can't disengage parking brake. I'm gonna put vehicle on drive. And now I'm gonna pull off. And parking brake disengaged. Let me know if that's how on your Subaru. Well, I fixed this issue, but it definitely left me scratching my head. Still doesn't make any sense. Who to blame? I really don't know, but like I said in the beginning of the video, this vehicle went to Subaru dealership for parking brake module replacement under extended warranty. And they say they couldn't fix it. They say it's either switch or relay. Again, this does not have relay for parking brake. As far as switch goes, I checked resistance, it's all checked out. I still replaced it and still did not fix the issue. And in service manual, these issues I was having, it did not guide me to switch replacement anyway. On top of it, when rear wheels locked up due to parking brake engagement or whatever, I followed the service manual directions how to release the parking brake, and it did release it. So I don't know. Only way that helped is keep pushing the force sensor calibration or whatever the name was. Then it gave me that stroke access code. I don't know if that's when that adjustment screw was very loose and that's when I was able to make proper adjustment. Confusing like crazy, but it's working now. I definitely wanted to show you a couple of those just in case you'll have same issue like I did. Make sure your like clutch, stroke sensor, make sure it's all have correct numbers. So all of them are at 0. Stroke sensor, it shows 0.42 inch. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna engage parking. I wish I knew that when I was working on it. So it used to be 0, now force sensor at 933. And stroke sensor also extended. Now I'm gonna release it. So I guess force sensor should be at 0 by default when parking brake is not engaged. And again, stroke sensor, that should be the one when it's not engaged. I'll provide Amazon affiliate links for tools I use to get this job done. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll try to respond as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. See you next time.